Okay, I thought I will just quickly explain to you what I changed here in a sense of upgrades or modifications then on the new Shad. And I must say I've been busy and I'm very happy how everything worked out. And so I'll just quickly run through everything. It's going to be a very short quick video, but just that you can have an idea what you can actually do with the new Shad in the sense of modifications and just making the thing work for you and making it your own. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please push the subscribe button and the like button. I will really appreciate it. Okay, so to start with, remember in the front I told you the front bin has been made probably half the size and it is much shallower on the inside. All right, so you can't really put a lot of stuff in here, although there's a lot of space underneath this thing. So remember I said to you, I think my idea is to cut this out and I would work it out, and I actually worked it out quite nicely, I think. So this is where I cut it out. You can see the line there, how I cut it out, and I can probably work it off a little bit neater than that. But as I say, I did all this in a couple of days. And so this was removed, and the way I made it to fit in here again without falling right through the hole is I put this weather guard in here. You know, this sponge is one-sided sponge you can put on windows and stuff where it's got a leakage in with air or whatever coming through there. And then I worked it off nicely with an angle grinder with the sandpaper wheel on a small angle grinder. And as you can see, it works it off perfectly smooth, and I could get the shape just like that so that it actually fits into this cavity nicely. You push it down, stays exactly there. That's it. There is your little shallow bucket where you can put your phone in or whatever you need to be close to you. Okay, so take it out, you simply twist it to the side, and then you have all this space on the inside. I mean, it is huge. Okay, you can put whatever you want in here. It's actually ridiculous how much space you've got here. So that worked out very well. I'm very chuffed with that. So look at that. Put the same bucket back, and then you can put some small objects like your glasses, your cell phone, your car keys, whatever you want to put in there for safekeeping. Put it back there, and that's it, all nice and secured, and it will be kept completely dry. And then the next big modification was to build the mount for my electric motor in front. So as I told you, this whole design is now such that it can take quite a lot of weight because the whole thing is completely solid. I mean, this thing is as solid as you can get. So what I used was, VANHUNKS makes I think this specifically fits on the my and some of the others, and also on the old Shad. At the back you can mount this mount, and then your motor would attach onto that. But a small modification I had to make here is this thing was actually up straight in this slit here. So I took that off, cut these pieces out here, put it flat so that it can slide down, and I just put the 2 screws through there again, and that holds the thing solidly in place. I mean, this thing is extremely solid. And so then I drilled a hole right through here to accommodate my previous design I had that you know, basically carries my electric motor here in front. I also had to cut out here because of the drain plug that's here. So easy access to the drain plug, you can just open it up like that, and so your mount stays here permanently, and you still have access to your drain plug. So how this thing works is, so on my previous Shad I made this stainless steel framework here. I removed the whole mounting plastic mechanism with those 2 clamps that you usually have on your electric motor, and I put this attachment onto the swivel point, you know, right over here. So all that stuff has been removed and been replaced with this. So this is the thing I designed basically, or built. I won't say design because it's just a matter of making it. So what happens here is that the bolt slides right through that hole, fits down in that position. You can see there's your tightening bolt, and then I've got this shape, same shape as the handle inside. So this thing fits exactly inside the handle to give it a very nice tight fit here. So the idea is that this thing gets screwed into that position, and it gives a double lock for forward and backwards, that basically this thing can't go anywhere. So I'll just screw this down quickly, and then you will see how solid this thing is. Screw it down like this, and that basically pulls that bottom part right into the handle so that it fits snug all around the handle, and that prevents it from moving anywhere. It doesn't matter if you go forward or backwards, this thing is solidly in place. So that thing is not going anywhere. Well, it is so solid. I'm very happy with this, how this worked out, I must say. And I made the shaft shorter on my electric motor. This is a 70-pound water snake, which is the maximum size electric motor you can use in the small crafts league. And I removed the control head. So the battery wires and the control box wires, which is, it's got 8 little wires inside of one cable that runs inside this, and I just put the shrinkage material on here, and I didn't shrink it down obviously, just to protect it and keep it dry. So that runs down here all the way to the back, and then the fitment for your control box is, you see there's your 8 little wires there. There's space for 9, but you only use 8 of them. And then your battery wire goes all the way to the back and into the battery box that I will show you just now. I'm using this bungee cord just to keep the cable right against the edge of the kayak, and then I lift it up and I attach it next onto this wonderful rails that the kayak has. So the idea is just to make sure that the cable is out of the way. Now, the previous one, my previous boat, I put this cable right inside the boat, and I just don't feel like drilling unnecessary holes and stuff in the boat, so I'd rather keep it like that. And that's nice that it's only one solid wire that goes back with one connection instead of more than one connection, so for the sake of having the wire inside the boat. And I think this works good enough anyway. Just put the bungee cord around this, hook it in, and that's it, nicely out of the way. Okay, so all that needs to be done here is that this connection must be plugged into your control box, and the control unit I store here in the back, and then what I also do is I just put it inside my hat somewhere that it doesn't damage and roll around inside the battery box. Okay, so this is it. This thing was on top of the motor here, and I removed it. Instead of the wires coming through here, I put them right through here. With the control arm runs through here, and that unit is actually mounted like that. So I just took it out and I mount it like that, and I put a stove knob on here. I think it might even be a Defy or something that fits on here. So also what I did was just put a little piece of sponge underneath this thing, just to give it some resistance, you know, so that it doesn't turn by itself too easily. Because what happened in the beginning, I would just touch this and it would turn so quickly, the motor would basically run away with me. So I had to put something in there to put a resistance on the knob to prevent that from happening. So now I just have more control over it. Okay, so to mount this next to my seat, I took a piece of this pipe. I cut it off over here, and a shorter piece. So I cut off probably 3 centimeters of this, and then I just use a small piece of that to attach here on my rail like that. I actually mounted it slightly at a corner so that it can accommodate the placing of my electric control box. One corner of this plugs are round, so you cannot put it in wrong. So your speed control is over here, forward, backwards, and it works perfectly because your hand is right here. You don't have to look for it, it's just right here next to you. And for some reason my LED doesn't work, but that's fine. Just hear that power. That is so fast. I'm actually scared of going so fast with this thing. And it's got a boost. Do you hear the boost? Beautiful thing, man, beautiful. And what is nice about this thing, it doesn't have intervals, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can make it turn like slowly. Look how slowly you can make it turn. So you'll be surprised to see how often you put it on a very low speed like that, and you go next to the bank, and you've got basically a couch that is taking you where the fish is, and it's like a Tesla, you know. It just knows where you want to go. It just goes up the bank while you're fishing. It is like super comfortable, and it is just so nice. Now I want to show you my battery box that I built in here. Now this specific box I got from the 4x4 shop. It's a little bit of an oversized box, because guys like to put meters and stuff inside there, and so it can actually take my bigger volume battery, which is the lithium battery, which is just a little bit bigger in volume but much lighter than a normal battery. It fits in here just absolutely beautifully. So what I did here was to cut out the base, just measured it very nicely, cut out the base, and this thing sinks into that hole. Right, so to prevent the stability of the sides to be compromised because of the hole you cut, what I did here on the inside is, you see, this are all pop rivets. So the pop rivets come out just under the deck, so it basically, you know, prevents any movement. I mean, this thing is so solid. You can push anywhere around this thing, and it is just so strong. It is just so strong. So this thing works just beautifully. Okay, and what this is my cut-off switch. You have to build in a cut-off switch into this electric motors, because the thing is so strong. If you fall off the boat, it's gonna run until, I don't know, you know, until it hits the damn wall or something, and you'll be very sad about that. So what I had to do, so what I did here is to put in a cut-off switch. So this thing you attach to your pants or something on your body, and when you get a problem and you fall off, that happens, and this thing basically breaks the stream. So, you know, your battery comes in here, you break the black line, not your red, not the red line. The negative is the line you cut with. For some reason the guys said put it in your negative and not in your positive line. So to activate it, basically this thing just goes in there, flips upward, very sensitive, very easily releases, and that will cut off the flow of the electricity to the motor, and then the kayak will stop if you've fallen off. If you've fallen off for some silly reason. The two cables, just made a little hole here on the side. They just pop through here very easily, and I like to make the holes just the right size, you know, that everything kind of fits a little bit, you know, snug in there. Right, now the battery I use is a Blue Nova. It is 108 amp hour, and it is 13 volts it says, and it, like this thing, I've not been able to use it up in 2 days, and that's been in like competitions and stuff, you know. So this battery, although it's a little bit expensive, it's probably about 10,500 now. If you look around, you might get it a bit cheaper, but this thing worked absolutely wonderful for me. There are a lot of other ones in the market as well, but this Blue Nova is working very nicely for me. Alright, so there it is. You see how nicely it fits in, and if you see, the level of the deck is almost the same level as your battery. So this whole thing is right literally inside the hull of your kayak, and it makes it so stable, I'm telling you. So then all you do is you attach your red and black cable. Make sure you don't make a mistake. Put it the other way around, obviously, and there it is. Your battery is built in. So the way I attach, or just keep the lid in position, is with these little bungee cords, and that keeps it in position perfectly. Now the other nice thing about having a flat surface here is I use it for something else. So basically what I use it for is to put this piece of, this is insulation pipe that you put in your geyser, wherever the water pipes that's in your roof, usually the copper pipes or so, just to keep it warmer and protect it. So what I do is slide this thing in here like that, and the purpose of that is to take your measuring trough and just put it over there, and then the bungee cord is simply attached to the battery box here at the back, and that is where your measuring trough is, right behind the seat, and it's nicely available for you. You just reach it backwards and you've got it. You measure your fish, and it cannot fall in the water and get lost, because if you've got your bungee cord on here, you measure your fish, take your picture, put it back, and you go on. So it's always an issue, where do I put my trough? And this flat battery box with that thing on top works very well. So it actually just not going anywhere while you're fishing, it's just staying right there. Okay, and then on the side, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's no built-in cup holders in this new VANHUNKS, which is absolutely fine with me, because they're usually at a place where you don't really want it, you know. So now I bought these cup holders from VANHUNKS. They're very cheap, and then you can put it wherever you want. So I put one over here that takes my coffee cup, and I put an extra one right in front here to take my my scissors and the tongs and stuff I need close by, just to take the hook out of a fish's mouth, that type of thing. So yeah, this awesome hatch here in front, it's got this removable bucket in here, and you can fit directly under it. There's so much space. Look, there's a lot of space even on the sides, okay? But this is my raincoat, my pants, and my jacket, and even there's so much space that even directly underneath your lure tray, you could say, you can fit that. So it's so close to you, you don't even have to put it in front where all that space is. You can have it directly here at you. So if the rain comes, pop this thing out, take out your raincoat, and you are ready to go. There is now so much space for your milk crate. So what I did with the milk crate is I cut the sponge. Let me just show you underneath. See, I cut that arch. I cut that arch in that fits right over this, so that it just fits more stable here at the back. All right. And to keep it down, simply bungee cords that fits into this little gaps I made here, you see. So that holds it down the front, and I've got one at the back as well. And there it is, your fishing rods, and your milk crate is not going anywhere, and it's nice and close. You can reach it very nicely, and you still have all that space here at the back, which is awesome. The steering mechanism, this is a hiking sticks handle that I built in here. This is normal aluminium pipe, and I made a little corner here, and I put Prattly Patty on here, and I painted it black, so it's got this very nice knob handling here. All right, and then I made this little thing here, so your steering mechanism fits in that hole, and it is able to maneuver like that. This is actually an old VANHUNKS seat mount that I modified to fit in. Now, how this attaches here in front, this is a ratchet system, you know. That is the perfect thing to attach your shaft, your steering shaft, onto your motor. So there is your action, very, very nicely. You probably get about, I think probably about 70 degrees in total, you know. Okay, and then I've quickly learned that especially my butt cannot take sitting on these seats. Although it's very comfortable, nicely padded and everything, I can't sit like this for like hours. Sometimes we sit on it for like 8 hours plus, and that's a bit long. So I made myself these little pillows, this pillow, and just to show you what kind of pillow it is, this one has been used already. So it is the type of pillow that's got different density of sponge in it. Okay, where you buy this is in South Africa, you buy the Dischem. This is the cushion that you find that people put on wheelchairs for sitting for very long periods of time. Okay, so I cut it the right size, made a cover for it, and then again the good old bungee cord here. Put the bungee cords over here, one on top and one on front, like that. And that prevents it from going anywhere. And let me tell you, you will sit on this thing and you will not even know you have a butt. It's so comfortable. It's awesome. Okay, and then the last thing I want to show you is probably the part that I'm most excited about, since the design of the new Shad is that it cannot accommodate a pedal drive, and it is designed specifically at this stage for the fin drive only, because the combination EPDL type of thing will fit into this big box here. But I took my old pedal drive and I basically built it in here, and it was one of the most easy conversions and one of the most successful ones. It worked so well. So with the Kayak, you get the blank, that is this plastic thing that you put inside this cavity when your fin drive is not in here, okay? And that fits exactly in the same principle as the fin drive. It locks in position like that. So if you want to take it out, you just pull it out like that, okay? So this thing I repurposed. So I cut a gap in here that fits exactly on the shaft of the pedal drive. All right. Now this piece I actually cut out at the back when I built in the battery box. And its design, it's got this little thing in here because that's where the water, if you turn it around, that's where the water runs down to your scupper plugs. And this little height here is exactly what I needed to put the pedal drive at the right position and right height. This is the original mount for the pedal drive that was part of that box that you put in your toolbox hole on the old Shad, that basically you basically used to mount the pedal drive on. And I just screwed it off and I screwed it right here on here, and look people, it works amazingly. So basically what you do, you simply put your pedal drive down there in the same way that you would attach it on the old Shad. Very easy. You see how nicely it lies down, totally out of the way. This thing slides in there, it fits in there, and now here's the magic. You take this thing, slide it in here, pop it down, it locks in position, and there it is. This thing is, I'm telling you, it is as solid as you cannot imagine. It even sits better than on the old VANHUNKS mount were. Totally solid, look at that thing. And the clearance at the bottom is probably about that space, totally fine. So how's that? Isn't that just awesome? And then I put this rope on here, and voila, there it is. Take it out and you lift your motor out. Just like that, you lie down, you put your blank back again, and there you go again. So this weather sponge I put on here fits in exactly with all the little shapes that's inside down there, and it seals it completely with. It is so nice. I am so chuffed with this one. So I can't wait to go and test it out in the water tomorrow. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, and then what I did was, this is that rod holder mount that you get with each kayak, comes with one of them. So what I did was I cut the bottom part off my rod holder, because I'm never going to use this as a rod holder, and I attach it in here, push it down, lock it in position, and that is it. Nicely adjustable wherever you want it. And this is where I put my front camera. What I also did was to put this little bungee cord on here. So I just put the bungee cord through here and hook it onto the handle, and that makes sure that if this thing comes loose, it doesn't fall in the water. Just a little bit of insurance. And then I did the same here at the back. I had to just grind down this ball joint a little bit to make it fit in here. If I want to put the camera at the back, so basically I have two camera mounts. It works beautifully. And then the last thing I can show you here is just my $50 rod holder that I made, which is normal plumbing material. Just screw it down like this, fit right next to the rail. So yeah, okay, that's quickly a rundown on all my modifications I did so far. And I'm very, very happy with how everything works out. And I'm sure it's going to be very, very comfortable with the battery box and the battery right in the base. It is so stable, it's unbelievable stable. And okay, the seats I also lifted a little bit here. If you really want to know how I did that, it's also very simple. Basically all this is roller wheels. You could even use a skateboard, you know, if you take a skateboard and take that old wheels and put them in here or something similar, and you just put a long rod down here. So I lifted it up probably 5 centimeters, which is more than enough for me. So yeah, people, that's it. If you have any questions, specific questions on how I did something, if you want me to send you some pictures or something, I can do that. And that is my modifications on the new VANHUNKS Shad, which I am very, very happy about, I must say. Very excited. So tomorrow, going out and testing it completely. I'll do a proper review of its stability and everything. And then I will give you a very much informed report on how well this VANHUNKS handles on the water. So thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe. You know what, I found out 84% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. That is ridiculous. Only 16% of people are actually subscribed. A lot of people are not subscribed. So if you're one of those that watch and enjoy the videos, please subscribe and put a like down here and a comment or something. It really helps for the growth of the channel. It's just nice to see the growth. So please subscribe and push that like button. Until the next video, thank you so much for watching Feel Good Fishing.